Another plaintiff in the suit is the Ohio Alliance for Retired Americans, part of a national organization of retired union members. Norm Wernet is the president of the Ohio group.
I'm old enough to remember when 22 counties in the state of Ohio did not require any kind of form of identification or voter registration up until 1977. So this is another change that seems rather restrictive. Just let me put it this way. So I'm old enough, I'm 76, and in a couple of years, it may be the case that I lose my driver's license because of my eyes or because of some other health condition. So what do I do to get an ID? If I'm disabled enough, how much is it going to cost me? I'm thinking of my Uncle Louis, my wife's uncle, who had ALS, had his mind perfectly in order, continued to vote up until just shortly before he died. But it would have required an ambulance to get him to get a new voter ID. That kind of thing is going to happen. We know that from some statistics I've been supplied that 19% of 12% of voters from 75 to 79 don't have a driver's license. And it goes up from there to like 19% for those over 80 to 85. And those over 85, it's about 31% don't have a driver's license or a state ID. When you go into an assisted living or you give up your driver's license, you don't really think about getting a state form of identification because you have been and continue to be the person who you are. We are the faithful voters of the state of Ohio. We are the most, as a constituency, as a demographic, older voters vote the most and vote in pretty much all the elections. To create those barriers, so my wife is immunocompromised. Putting her in a polling booth during COVID would have been very tragic. So being able to vote, for instance, at curbside was an option. That has been taken away from us. That just presents more and more difficulties for us and barriers. And we ought to be encouraging people to vote. We ought to be encouraging people to have access.
House Bill 458 is set to take effect April 7th, which means those changes, including required photo ID for voters, will be in effect for the May primary.